Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we have had a lot of people asking a question lately, and that question is simple. What would the Ohio be like with a full Azure Lane Colorado reload meme build? So for you guys tonight, I bring you Ohio with the full Azure Lane Colorado meme build for the full reload. And that includes swapping out Artillery Plotting Room for the Main Battery Mod 3, which allows us to get a faster reload. So our base reload is 21.9 seconds, which is ridiculous. However, do I think this is the best build for the Ohio? And the answer simply is no. It makes it very inconsistent in medium to long range. However, fortunately for us, this particular match is not medium and long range for very long. It becomes very short range very quickly, and this one's about to get spicy, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. So buckle in, keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. I'm telling you, this one's gonna be crazy. Y'all already know how this gets. You guys have been around long enough, you guys know that people do some really, really dumb things around me. Not only my own teammates, but the enemy. The enemy will do some ridiculous things. Like, you don't ever see these people play like this normally, right? People just don't do this. But in this match, boy howdy, do they do some crazy stuff. So, pay attention to the fact there are no destroyers in this match, right? Which means cruisers and battleships have to do their own spotting, and most of the time, that ends poorly for people who are not used to being at the front. Alright? I hate to break it to you, but you need to learn to brawl in any ship. Doesn't matter what you're in. Okay? Learn how to close the distance, utilizing the terrain to your advantage as best you can. Close the distance, get into a position where you can defend yourself from the majority of people while you're fighting the rest of them. Right? Sometimes the enemy will do stupid things to try to remove you from said position, including and not limited to throwing all of their hit points away to try to get you out of a position. Case in point, what I'm about to show you. Now keep an eye on how quickly my teammates get knocked out of this match. Now, first time that we get shot with HE, double fire. Is anybody actually surprised at this point? I don't think so. I think everybody pretty much guesses what's going to happen. Look at this battleship behind me, by the way, is a Conqueror. Keep that in mind. It's a Conqueror. This man is just sailing broadside to the entirety of the enemy team in a Conqueror. Do we have to explain why that's a bad idea? I don't care what ship you're in. If you're spending most of the time broadside, you're not going to live very long, and I don't care how big of a heel you got. So first shot out at the Ibuki, pretty solid shot. We'll take that. We're up to 16,000 damage. I mean, first shot was technically against the Yama, but now we have a gross occur first in its natural environment, up close and personal. And we're about to show this gross occur first what's what. First shot out, we take a shot just above the front second turret, of the ship, and we get 2 shells to hit the target. Unfortunate. I'm pretty sure we hit the faceplate of those, and then we get triple fired. So that Ibuki has already set 5 fires in 2 salvos. Tell me again how the HE fire chance of the Japanese cruisers isn't completely and utterly cracked. Dude has set 5 fires in 2 salvos. Need I say more? Well, Spartan, you're running the Flammable Cannoneer. Yes, and he also starts with a base. Oh my god. Okay, well, 2 can play that game, sunshine. Bonk! 6 penetrations. Not too shabby. We've lost a lot of hit points. Obviously not an ideal scenario. Was hoping that we could get a little bit better angled than we did. But yeah, both the Kerr First and the Ohio fully capable of removing each other. But this is the part where the reload build comes in real handy. Now here, we get a shot with the rear turrets over, and only one shell manages to hit the target. See where I'm talking about the whole inconsistency starting to pop up thing? Yeah, really not ideal. But we're about to get into a situation where we're really going to be very happy to have a reload build. Now, Conqueror's already dead, and our Alaska is sitting behind an island. Keep an eye on the Alaska. Keep an eye on the Conqueror. Oh, wait, Conqueror's dead. We've already lost the Conqueror, and the Alaska out here has lost the majority of his hit points somehow. I don't know how it happens, but it is. That's just the way it goes. But we are waiting patiently, rotating our guns, trying to get ready for this inevitable push, and we catch him with 2 overpins, which is definitely not what I wanted there. I'm not going to lie. But this GK is just underestimating my capabilities of reloading these ridiculously big 18-inch guns. And not only that, but he fires right into the belt armor of my Ohio, which is just like the Montana. It has a ridiculous belt. You aren't going through that with anything, especially at these angles. So here, we're going to go ahead and take a shot up into the superstructure. Unfortunately, the front guns didn't get nearly as good of penetration, and that's when the Brisbane comes around the corner to start shooting at me. But I can't deal with him at this moment. We got to start dealing with this guy. He's coming in to ram me. There's no doubt in my mind he's trying to ram me. Fortunately, Alaska finally shows himself, and as you can see, he's lost all of his hit points. Finally shows himself, and we know torpedoes are on their way, so we're trying to get moving forward. We're going to take one of these. Bulk. We go ahead, hit the damage con. We got the rear turret of Justice and Truth on the way. We take another torpedo. We only get a single Citadel on the Brisbane. And as we pull forward, trying to get away, get the front guns on the target as well, hoping the Alaska would sit there and shoot the guy, because, you know, oh my God! Oh, Lord have mercy. Please don't be loaded. Please don't be loaded. Oh my God, I'm broadside to a Yamato at 3 kilometers. Please, for the love of God, f this up. Okay, rear turrets are on point. Shot out. And bunk. There goes 2 Citadels. Get angled. Get angled. Come on, Spartan. Ah! Okay, we're alive somehow. Get the front guns on target. Get the rear guns loading. Come on. For the love of God, we're at 180,000 damage in less than 5 minutes. Come on. I say 5 minutes. It's actually been 7 minutes at this point. But rear turrets go out, and we actually death strike him with the rear turrets with 3 Citadels. Caught me off guard, but we gave him the front guns too, just to be sure. But unfortunately, there's not much more I can do for this fight. 230,000 damage. The secondaries are beating up on the Brisbane. I've got my guns loaded. You can see I'm waiting for whoever's shooting at me over here to potentially get spotted. And sure enough, he does actually get spotted. It's another Brisbane. So we try to aim the shot over the island, and the Alaska comes out. And I wish I had seen this Alaska sooner, because I would have been able to get a nice shot on him. But we get 3 overpins on the Brisbane, unfortunately, and we go down. We only survived basically 6.5 minutes. 6 minutes and 40 seconds or so. We did everything we could, and in 6 minutes and 40 seconds, we did 240,000 damage with the Ohio reload build. Yeah, probably not a good idea to sleep on an Ohio at close range. But we wouldn't have survived anywhere near that long if it wasn't for the fact that the Ohio has really good heals. The heals come back very quickly, and we survive as long as we can. Now, unfortunately for us, this is just not going to happen. This Alaska is sadness. I don't know how to describe it any more than that. I'm not trying to name and shame. I'm just saying that this Alaska is sadness. You've already seen him lose all of his hit points. Been hiding behind the island this whole time. Failed to come out and deal with the Brisbane. He did get the corrosive curve first. We'll give him credit for that. But he failed to get the Brisbane, unfortunately. And so Brisbane gets to escape. The rest of his team, or the rest of the enemies, have gotten to escape because they just sail out of there. While they were all shooting me, he could have been shooting them. But either way, he's going to push out. He's going to try to do the right thing by getting into the Charlie Cap here. But the guy needs to go back to gunnery school, man. That's all I can say. We do have 2 very healthy battleships. We also have a cruiser. We are up against 4 cruisers, 2 of which are Brisbanes, and 1 is an Ibuki. The other is an Alaska. I would, if I'm in this situation, and it's just a couple of cruisers, and, you know, one of them is an Ibuki, one of them is an Alaska, and 2 of them are Brisbanes, I'm feeling pretty confident if I'm in a battleship. Right? Right? I mean, am I the only one here? If I'm in the Alaska, I'm feeling real confident. But, yeah, you guys are in for a treat. Because our team is not going to have a good time. This Alaska's trying to, like I said, he's going to get up into the Charlie Cap. He's going to do his job. But when you see what this guy is going to do, it is mind-boggling how, like, poorly this Alaska plays this. Because all he has to do is aim one well-aimed shot, and he kills the Brisbane, right? Like, it's not very difficult. Alaska overmatches. It's almost guaranteed citadels. Like, Alaska should easily one-shot the Brisbane that's left. So we come across the map. We're trying to check in. Colombo, we got the Alaska. We're flying back over here. I apologize that I keep switching back and forth, but I was like, okay, surely this Alaska is going to kill this guy. Every single time that this guy shoots, he waits until the guy's disappeared for like a solid couple of seconds. Now, I've been there. You know, it happens occasionally. You go to aim at a guy and fire the guns, and the guns fire a little bit late, maybe. You know, we give them the benefit of the doubt. But unfortunately, our Brisbane goes down to their Alaska, as you would expect. I mean, Alaska does overmatch. But this guy doesn't even make an effort. Not even a single effort to rotate his guns to the left here, knowing that there are 3 ships on his left that he's about to spot. Mind-boggling, folks. But fortunately for him, the Brisbane spotted, and that's going to allow our teammates to take shots at the Brisbane. And the Colombo is not going to disappoint. The Awami is not going to disappoint. Between the two of them, they finish off the Brisbane, bailing out this Alaska once again. Now, Alaska has a beautiful look at this freaking Brisbane. Brisbane's right there begging for it. All he has to do is anticipate what the Brisbane's going to do and take the shot accordingly. Takes the shot and completely whiffs. Yeah. I would love to say that that's the last time you see this guy whiff, right? Like, I would love to say that, but watch what he does next. You can't tell me that that wasn't him trying to, like, play harder than he needs to. All he has to do is go forward a little bit. He'd spot the guy again. The island is the only thing keeping him from spotting him. So he just moved forward a little bit. He had his guns loaded. Fortunately, his guns are basically loaded again when the Brisbane comes out, and surely he'll hit him this time. Right? I wish. I truly wish. But nope, he misses once again. I told you guys, mind-boggling. I've seen some bad aiming in my time. I've done some bad aiming in my time. And then he fires his guns again after a guy goes dark. If it was once, I would be like, yeah, it's a fluke. It happens. We've all done it. This guy is... He's locked in harder than he's ever locked in his life right now. This guy has never been put in a position like this in his entire career as a World of Warships commander. You know how I know? Because he's panicking. The more experience you have in these sorts of situations, the less likely you are to panic. Like, look what I had to put up with. And yet I made very, very, like, specific movements. I tried to, you know, I didn't waste my movements. I did everything I could. Unfortunately, Colombo eats a torpedo here. Eats 2 torpedoes, actually. And he starts pushing forward. He really wants to get a hold of this Alaska. Alaska's doing the right thing, using the island to scrape off the turd blossom that's in front of him. Staying angled as best he can, knowing the Colombo doesn't overmatch him. Fortunately, our Alaska finally comes through and finishes off that Brisbane. I think. I don't even know. Maybe it was the Awami that shot him. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. The Brisbane's dead, though, and the Alaska's still alive, so that means the Alaska grabs the cap. Now, pay attention to the fact that they have a 300-point advantage on us, and they have one of the caps, and there's only 2.5 minutes left. And what happens next can only be described as a sudden rush to the brain. This Awami just pulls out full broadside in front of an Alaska. Tell me you don't know what the f*** you're doing without telling me you don't know what the f*** you're doing. Awami, this is unacceptable. That is a goddarn battleship that is sitting there bowing to you right now, and you're just sitting broadside. He's lucky he wasn't depth-struck. The only thing that kept him from being depth-struck there is that he's not a goddarn Yama. He's got a little bit better armor than the Yama does. It's just a slightly better armor. But unfortunately, the Awami here, he's going to turn out, try to get his guns on the Ibuki. The Ibuki is the only one left. All the Ibuki has to do is run away at this point, and he knows it. He gets one more shot out. He's got the torpedoes on the way. Awami eats the torpedoes, and unfortunately, gets the shot out, and swing and a miss, sunshine. And there goes the game. That's all we got. Nothing left. The Alaska is nowhere to be found. The Colombo knows he has to kill the Ibuki, and the Ibuki knows that they have to kill him in order to win. So unfortunately, this is where we end the game. I'm going to go ahead and speed up to the end, and we'll get to the credits. Alright, so like I said, well done to the Ibuki for recognizing all he has to do is run away in this situation. A lot of people wouldn't pay attention to that. They'd keep trying to get damage or think that they have to win harder. Paying attention to the points that are left, who's going to win the match, and knowing that all you got to do is not fire your guns and you win is a very, very underrated skill. But 239,000 damage, high cal, top of the leaderboard, when we only lived 6.5 minutes, guys. What more do we have to do to get some teammates? And don't get me wrong, Colombo did alright. Alaska looks like he did something, because he got a couple of kills late and he captured a base, but I guarantee if he hadn't captured that base that meant absolutely nothing, he would be much lower on the leaderboard, because I don't think he got any real damage. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Personally, I don't think that this is the right build for the Ohio. It has its moments, like we showed in this video, but more often than not, I think the Azure Lane New Jersey build is probably better for the Ohio. But I'm interested to see what your guys' thoughts are. And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.